Surround yourself with people who push you to become better. 6. Embrace purpose over pleasure. Define your mission. When you have a purpose, you become less susceptible to the allure of shallow pleasures. Write down what you want to achieve, the legacy you want to leave, and keep that vision clear. Purpose is a powerful shield against temptation. Reward yourself with progress, not pleasure. Many fall into the cycle of seeking quick gratification. Break that cycle. Let your accomplishments and growth fuel you. Celebrate progress, not impulse-based pleasure, and you'll find a deeper satisfaction that keeps you focused and strong. 7. Channel your energy into creation, not consumption. Create more than you consume. They want you consuming because it keeps you passive. Instead, focus on creating art, knowledge, skills, relationships. The act of creation not only fulfills you, but fortifies you against external influence. Develop skills that serve your purpose. Skill development keeps you focused and engaged. Each skill, each piece of knowledge, each goal achieved builds a barrier against the distractions that would otherwise pull you off your path. 8. Embrace self-reliance and accountability. Take ownership of your choices. They want you to blame the system, circumstances, or others, because blame keeps you in victim mode. Take full ownership of your actions, thoughts, and progress. Self-reliance is the ultimate act of defiance. Hold yourself accountable. Set high standards for yourself and meet them, no matter the challenge. When you hold yourself accountable, you build the strength to resist their influence. You become your own master, unbound by anyone else's expectations. 9. Embrace discomfort as growth. Train yourself to embrace the hard path. They know most people will take the easy road, which is exactly why it's filled with temptations and distractions. Choose the harder path, the path of discipline, and you'll become someone who cannot be shaken. Let failure teach you. Failure, discomfort, and challenges are growth. Instead of numbing yourself with temporary distractions, face life's challenges head on. Each time you do, you grow stronger, harder to manipulate, and more aligned with your purpose. 10. Keep the end game in sight. Visualize your legacy. Every action, every choice, every moment is building your legacy. Remember that your journey is more than a single lifetime. The chosen are here to leave something eternal, something powerful, a lasting impact that can't be undone. Measure progress by internal milestones, not external praise. The world may never validate you. They don't want to. Instead, seek validation in the mirror. Hold steady, grow stronger, and know that each step forward defies their design. Final reminder. You were born for this path. You weren't put here to be complacent, controlled, or consumed. You are here to rise, to fight, and to show others a way out of the shadows. Your purpose is not just your own. It's a torch that will light the way for others. Stand in that truth, warrior. No matter what forces try to sway you, remember that you hold the power. You are the resistance, the strength, the spirit that refuses to bend. And as long as you remain unbroken, their influence will falter. Hold steady. Resist with every fiber of your being. This world is waiting for warriors like...
Black Friday savings are here.
So what are you working on?
We're keeping an eye out for Santa.
And an eye out for savings.
You can get a tool like this, free.
When you buy a battery kit from one of our top brands.
Can I get free delivery?
Sure can. Get Black Friday savings now at the Home Depot.
Minute Clinic at CVS offers expert care, from skin conditions to heart health. Our board-certified nurse practitioners give you and your family the expert care you need.
You. Control or consumed. arrive like a lightning bolt, and it's not contained in single extraordinary moments. Real lasting transformation is quiet, subtle, built on everyday decisions and simple habits that compound over time, like a river carving through stone. Society feeds us a lie, and we fall for it, believing that success requires an explosive breakthrough, a magic trick that rewrites everything in an instant. That belief holds us back. We get stuck, waiting for the perfect opportunity, the flawless plan, the ideal circumstance. Meanwhile, the true path to change is right in front of us. It's not dramatic or flashy, but it's there, waiting to be discovered in the small, disciplined actions that we choose every single day. If you want to change your life in a profound way, you don't need radical gestures. You don't need to turn everything upside down. What you need is commitment to the small, deliberate habits that over time have the power to reshape everything. These are the steps that build resilience, sharpen focus, and quietly strengthen you until you're unrecognizable to the person you were before. You're not alone if you're searching for something grand. People everywhere are chasing that single defining moment. But real success, true achievement, is built brick by brick, with small choices laid down one after another. The path is unassuming, but deeply powerful. Here's the beauty of it. These changes are accessible to anyone. You don't need privilege, status, or luck to start. You just need the willingness to take the first step, to act consistently, to believe that small things done with intention can create extraordinary results. What if, instead of waiting for a sweeping transformation, you began today with just a handful of simple habits? Imagine this: 10 small shifts in your daily life, small actions that seem almost inconsequential. Yet, over time, these 10 habits can alter the course of your entire existence. They don't require you to be special. They just require you to be consistent. They are small acts of discipline, intention, and focus. And they are the foundation of true, lasting transformation. Let's dive into these habits that have the power to create unstoppable momentum, to bring clarity where there was once confusion, and to help you become the person who lives the life they once only dreamed of. 1. Purposeful reading. Think about the time you spend consuming random information, news, social media, whatever happens to scroll across your screen. Now imagine if, just for a few minutes each day, you replace that noise with purpose-driven reading. Not for entertainment or distraction, but to expand your mind, sharpen your thinking, and challenge your beliefs. 10 minutes of focused reading a day on topics that matter to you can have a profound effect. Purposeful reading is mental nutrition. Just as your body needs quality fuel, your mind needs quality input. When you read with intent, every book becomes a lesson, a blueprint, a treasure trove of knowledge that can guide you through life's challenges. Don't underestimate the power of this habit. The books you read and the thoughts you encounter become a part of you. They shape your decisions, your goals, and your identity. Make reading a priority, no matter how small the time commitment, and over time, the knowledge you gain will shape you in ways you never imagined.
Cover your place in rugs.
Investing in gold and silver is smart. Buying gold or silver with Vaulted is simple. The Vaulted app lets you buy physical gold and silver with the click of a button. It only takes...
2. Moving your body. Every day, physical movement is more than exercise. It's a signal to your mind and body that you are alive and thriving. It's not about the aesthetic reward carbs or the number of calories burned. It's about the power that comes from discipline, from pushing yourself even when you don't want to. When you move your body, whether it's a 20-minute walk, a run, a stretch, or a dance, you're building resilience, focus, and mental toughness. You're showing yourself that you are in control. Exercise doesn't just strengthen your muscles. It sharpens your mind, clears your thoughts, and builds the endurance that keeps you moving forward in life, even when things get hard. Each time you push through the physical discomfort, you're building a mental muscle that can withstand the storms of life. Movement is your reminder that strength is built one step at a time. 3. Practicing daily gratitude. Gratitude is a mindset, not a feeling. It's the act of training your mind to see what's present, rather than what's missing. When you focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your entire perspective shifts. Life feels lighter, fuller, more abundant. Gratitude isn't about ignoring your struggles. It's about finding balance, acknowledging the good even on the darkest days. Gratitude rewires your brain to look for the positive, to be present in the small moments. The warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of a friend, a quiet moment with a book. These are not small things. They are the very essence of life. By practicing gratitude, you give yourself permission to savor what you have and cultivate a sense of fulfillment that's unshakable. 4. Journaling for clarity and progress. Journaling isn't just for recording events. It's for capturing thoughts, setting intentions, and holding yourself accountable. It's a practice that clarifies, organizes, and solidifies your thoughts. When your mind feels cluttered, writing your thoughts down can be a form of release, a way to put distance between you and the noise in your head. Through journaling, you track your growth. You see patterns, learn from your challenges, and celebrate your wins. It's a reminder of how far you've come, a testament to your resilience. And when your goals stare back at you from the page, you realize they're within reach. Journaling doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be honest. 5. Setting clear daily goals. Without direction, you drift. Goals give you purpose. They make life intentional. But the secret to achieving big things lies in setting small, achievable goals daily. Instead of overwhelming yourself with everything you want to achieve, focus on what needs to be done today. Each goal is a small step toward your larger vision. These goals don't need to be monumental. They just need to move you forward. Success isn't about giant leaps. It's about steady, consistent progress. Write down your goals each morning, reflect on them at night, and watch as small achievements build the momentum for something far greater. 6. Prioritizing rest and recovery. We live in a culture that glorifies the grind, that sees rest as weakness. But here's the truth. Without rest, you are on a fast track to burnout. Rest isn't just a break from work. It's an essential part of the process. It's how you recharge, reflect, and return stronger. Your mind and body need recovery just as much as they need effort. Rest doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what brings you peace. Whether it's a walk in nature, meditation, or simply sitting in silence, find what calms you. Make time for rest, because pushing forward without it is like running a marathon without ever stopping to breathe. 7. Giving freely. We often underestimate the power of giving, of offering a helping hand, sharing a kind word, or simply being present for someone else. Giving creates a cycle of abundance, a reminder that life is about more than just personal gain. And when you give without expecting anything in return, you find a new level of fulfillment. Giving isn't about draining yourself. It's about creating a flow of energy. You can't pour from an empty cup, so take care of yourself first, then offer what you can to others. Kindness, compassion, And as you become a better listener, you gain insights into yourself as well as the people around you. 9. Practicing patience. We live in a world that wants everything now, that prizes instant gratification over the slow process of growth. But the best things in life, the things that matter, take time. Success, personal growth, fulfillment, resilience, they all come from patience. They come from showing up each day, even when progress is invisible. Patience is trusting the process, finding joy in the journey, rather than obsessing over the destination. It teaches you resilience, builds character, and separates those who persevere from those who quit too soon. Practicing patience means learning to love the path, knowing that everything you're working for is coming, one step at a time. 10. Surrounding yourself with the right people. Your environment shapes you. If you surround yourself with people who bring negativity, complacency, and doubt, it will drain you. But if you choose those who inspire you, challenge you, and lift you higher, they will propel you forward. Look closely at your circle. Make sure it's filled with those who support your journey. This may mean letting go of some people, and that's okay. You don't need everyone to understand or agree with your path. In a world where mediocrity is celebrated, where it's easier to fit in than to stand out, it takes the strength of a warrior to be the exception. Anyone can coast along, make excuses, or settle for what's handed to them. But not you. You're called to something greater. To be exceptional is to endure with purpose, to hold steady when the world tries to pull you into its chaos, to resist when it would be so easy to give in. This path isn't smooth or simple. It's relentless, demanding, even punishing at times. Yet it's precisely that struggle that forges strength, the same way iron sharpens iron. Your discipline, your commitment to these small daily acts, is the foundation upon which you build something unbreakable. As warriors, we don't yield to temptation or sway with the noise of the crowd. We rise each day with the intention to carve our own path, to build a life that defies expectation, and to lead by example. We understand that while the journey may be long, every step is a testament to our resilience, to our refusal to be anything less than we're capable of becoming. So stand tall. Make no apologies for being driven, for aiming higher, for expecting more from yourself than the world expects of you. Embrace the battle, for it's in the fires of discipline and dedication that true strength is born. Be relentless, be resilient, and above all, be the exception.
You're not a child, you're a man. So stop wearing so many layers to go outside and get the bearskin tactical.
Strength is what we often crave, what we think will get us through the hardest times. But real strength isn't just physical, it's mental, and it's much harder to build than muscle. Life is a brutal, unyielding force that throws tests and challenges at you when you least expect it. And in those moments, it's not your body that will see you through, it's your mind. A weak mind will shatter under the weight of adversity. But a strong mind, one that's been honed and conditioned, can withstand anything. Let's talk about what it means to truly train your mind. See, we live in a world obsessed with appearance, with strength on the outside. People spend hours at the gym, money on diets, and yet ignore the most critical training of all, forward. It holds you in place, feeding negativity and draining your power. Strong minds don't waste time on complaints. They look at problems and ask, what can I do? That's where the real power lies. Not in focusing on what's wrong, but in seeking solutions, in using challenges as fuel instead of chains. Excuses are another silent killer of resilience. Excuses feel comfortable. They give you an out. When you say, I didn't have time, or I wasn't given a fair chance, you feel justified. But every excuse is a lie, a barrier you've set up to protect yourself from discomfort, from responsibility. You're giving up control when you make an excuse. You're saying the situation is out of your hands, that you're just a victim. But the strong don't play the victim. They take responsibility for every aspect of their lives, even the parts that seem unfair. They know that life isn't always just, but that doesn't stop them. They steer their own ship, no matter how hard the waves hit. Comparison, too, is a poison. You measure your worth by someone else's achievements, their success, their path. But when you're always comparing, you're never truly focused on your own journey. You start living for someone else's standards, someone else's idea of what's valuable. And that is a guaranteed path to weakness. Mental strength comes from focusing on your own progress. The only person you should ever be competing with is the person you were yesterday. The strong don't chase others. They climb their own mountains, set their own pace. Comparison is a distraction, a thief that robs you of contentment and confidence. Focus on your growth, your victories, however small they may seem. And then there's perfectionism, the ultimate trap for those who fear failure. Perfection sounds admirable, like something to aspire to, but in reality, it's rooted in fear. It's a safety net, a way to avoid criticism, mistakes, vulnerability. But perfectionism keeps you from moving forward. You hesitate, you delay, because you're waiting for the perfect moment, the flawless plan. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist, and waiting for it will paralyze you. Real growth, real progress is messy. The strong embrace imperfection. They understand that mistakes are inevitable, that each misstep is an opportunity to learn. They know that taking imperfect action is far better than taking no action at all. Perfectionism is a cage. Progress is freedom. Living in the past is another weight that weakens the mind. How often do we replay old regrets, mistakes, missed chances, thinking that maybe, just maybe, we can change what's already done? But the past is over, and the more you live there, the less energy you have for the present. The strong know that the past is a place of reference, not residence. They learn from it, but don't linger. When you're focused on what was, you miss what could be. Life moves forward, and those who constantly look back are left behind. If you're carrying the weight of the past, you're dragging chains that only you can release. And then there's validation. Everyone craves it, to be seen, to be appreciated. It's natural. But when you depend on others to tell you that you're worthy, that you're doing well, you give them power over your confidence. People's opinions change like the wind, and if you're anchored to them, you'll never find true stability. True strength is born from within. Strong people don't seek validation. They validate themselves. They know their worth without needing someone else to tell them. They set their own standards, and they follow their own path. Not because others approve, but because they trust in their own ability, their own vision. When you rely on others to build your confidence, you're standing on sand, not stone. And then, when the hard times come, when the challenges hit, there's a temptation to give up. Weakness makes you fold at the first sign of difficulty. It makes you question everything. Think maybe this isn't worth it. But the strong know that anything worth having requires perseverance. perseverance. Weak minds give up too soon. They stop just before they're about to break through. Mental toughness isn't built by quitting when things get hard. It's built by staying in the game, by weathering the storms, by pushing through when everything in you screams to walk away. The strong know that the moments they feel like quitting are the moments they're closest to victory. Comfort is another trap. We live in a world that worships ease, where everything is designed to be faster, easier, more convenient. But comfort is the enemy of growth. Strength isn't built in comfort. It's forged in adversity, in struggle, in pushing beyond what feels safe. If you avoid discomfort, if you choose the easy path every time, you're missing out on the very experiences that would toughen you. Weak minds avoid challenges. Strong minds seek them out. They understand that discomfort is a signal that they're growing, that they're pushing limits, that they're moving beyond their comfort zone. Life doesn't reward those who stay safe. It rewards those who embrace the challenge, who see difficulty not as a barrier, but as a crucible. Grudges, too, can destroy your strength. When you hold on to resentment, you think you're punishing the person who wronged you. But in reality, you're punishing yourself. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The strong forgive, not because the other person deserves it, but because they deserve peace. They let go, not to forget, but to free themselves. They understand that forgiveness isn't weakness, it's freedom. A grudge is a weight, a chain that keeps you bound to the past. Letting go doesn't erase the pain, but it allows you to move forward, unburdened. Self-doubt is another silent enemy. Doubt whispers, "You're not good enough. You can't do this. What if you fail?" But if you let that doubt fester, it will become a prison. The strong have moments of doubt too, but they don't let it stop them. They understand that doubt is just a fleeting thought, not a permanent truth. They push through, knowing that action is the only cure. The more you act in spite of doubt, the less power it has over you. Strong minds face their fears. They push forward, and each step they take erodes doubt, replacing it with confidence. But if you let doubt rule you, you'll never take risks, never step into the unknown, and you'll never grow. Then there's the obsession with control. So much in life is beyond our grasp. The weather, other people's actions, the unexpected curveballs. But if you fixate on what you can't control, you're setting yourself up for frustration. The strong know where to place their energy. They focus on what they can control. Their thoughts, their actions, their responses. They don't waste time trying to change what's beyond their influence. They understand that true strength lies not in controlling every aspect of life, but in mastering their own reactions. This gives them resilience, a grounded strength that can't be shaken by external forces. Every single one of these traps weakens the mind, if left unchecked. They eat away at your resilience, your determination, and your sense of purpose. But here's the truth. Just as these habits can weaken you, their opposites can build unbreakable strength. A mind that refuses to complain, that takes responsibility, that rejects comparison, that embraces imperfection, that lets go of grudges, that focuses on the present, that doesn't seek validation, that acts in spite of doubt, and that directs energy only toward what it can control. That is a mind that is unbreakable. The path to strength isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. But every time you choose to let go of these weakening habits and embrace habits of resilience, you're training yourself for greatness. Life will test you, push you, challenge you. But a strong mind, a trained mind, can withstand anything. So, here we stand at the edge of choice. Every single day, you decide who you will become, strong or more stagnant, resilient, or resigned. Life will continue to throw its storms your way. Make no mistake about it. But the difference between those who survive and those who thrive is simple. They train their minds. They master their habits. They take control. You have it within you to build an unbreakable mind, a fortress that no storm can shake. Let go of the distractions. Release the weaknesses that try to hold you down, and commit to becoming stronger than you were yesterday. It won't be easy, and it won't happen overnight. But piece by piece, day by day, you will rise. Now go forward. Live with purpose. Face each day with the relentless drive to become the strongest, most unstoppable version of yourself. Because in the end, that's what it means to truly live. The journey is yours. Claim it, own it, and don't look back. Fear of failure is something they want you to have. The world wants you to fear mistakes, to avoid risk, to settle for mediocrity. But failure isn't the end. It's a necessary part of the journey. It's feedback. It's life telling you that something didn't work, so it's time to try something different. If you fear failure, you'll stay frozen, locked in place, never daring to step forward. But if you embrace it, if you see it as an ally, failure becomes fuel. It becomes proof that you're pushing yourself, growing, changing, moving beyond the constraints placed upon you. The story goes that Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of someone unbreakable. Someone who uses each misstep as a step forward. If you handle failure by letting it define you, by letting it erode your confidence, you'll stay in the shadows. But if you see it as Edison did, as a path to success, then every setback becomes a setup for your next breakthrough. Your perspective on failure will dictate how far you go. If you learn to view failure as a teacher instead of a critic, you'll find that your so-called setbacks are really just the building blocks of your success. Every time you fall, you have a choice. Stay down or rise stronger. Gratitude is another weapon they don't want you to wield. A grateful mind is a powerful mind, but they want you focused on what you lack, on what you don't have, on what's missing. Gratitude shifts that focus. When you appreciate what you have, you create a mindset of abundance. You teach yourself to see opportunities instead of limitations, to recognize the good even when life is hard. Gratitude doesn't need a perfect life to flourish. It finds strength in the smallest blessings. A roof over your head, a meal in front of you, the ability to move, to think, to change. When you train your mind to see these things, to be thankful for them, you're no longer at the mercy of the world's chaos. You are resilient, anchored, unbreakable. Gratitude builds fortitude. Relationships, too, are a battleground of perspective. Are the people in your life burdens or blessings? Are they sources of stress or support? When you focus on what people do wrong, on their faults and flaws, your relationships crumble. But when you focus on the good, on what they bring to your life, on the love and lessons they offer, those connections become a fortress. If you want to change your relationships, start by changing the way you see the people in your life. Appreciate the good, and you'll draw out more of it. True strength lies in seeing abundance where others see scarcity, in finding peace in a chaotic world. setback. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? What can I be grateful for? If you cultivate this way of thinking, your life will transform. The power to change begins and ends within you. You're not powerless. You're not just a number. But you are surrounded by forces that want you to believe that. Don't give in. Claim your power. Change your perspective. To truly embrace these concepts, to live them, is a practice of fortifying your mind, building resilience, and standing unmovable in a world that wants you distracted and weak. Here's how you can reinforce these principles, turning them into habits that will carry you through every obstacle. 1. Daily mindset. Work. Start each day with intention. Take 5 minutes every morning to set a mental tone for the day. Decide what you'll focus on, what mindset you'll embrace, and what thoughts you'll hold on to when challenges arise. Write down a few statements or affirmations that align with the mindset you want. Reminders like, I see opportunities, not obstacles. Or, I am not swayed by negativity. I create my own reality. Repeating these affirmations, whether you believe them fully or not, will slowly shift your thinking. Commit to this as part of your morning routine. It doesn't take long, but these moments of quiet reflection are the foundation of mental resilience. When the noise of the world creeps in, you'll have your grounding intentions to hold on to. 2. Control your inputs. Everything you consume shapes your mind. So be careful about the information you allow in, what you watch, who you listen to, the conversations you have. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, fear, and pessimism, your mind will absorb it. Limit the time you spend on sources that drain you mentally and spiritually. Surround yourself with ideas, content, and people that uplift and inspire you. Replace negative influences with books, podcasts, and media that fuel your growth. Choose content that aligns with the person you're becoming, not the person the world wants you to stay as. 3. Challenge your thoughts. Negative thoughts are natural, but they don't have to define you. When self-doubt, fear, or defeatist thinking arises, don't let it take root. Challenge those thoughts directly. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this thought helping me, or is it holding me back? A practical way to handle this is by reframing. If a thought tells you, I'm not good enough, replace it with, I am capable and getting stronger every day. This is not about lying to yourself. It's about taking control of your narrative. With time, you'll notice fewer negative thoughts, and those that do arise will have less power over you. 4. Focus on small wins. Too often, we fixate on massive changes or dramatic transformations, which can feel overwhelming and unattainable. Instead, shift your focus to small wins. Small steps forward build momentum, and momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. Each day, take a few moments to acknowledge small victories. Did you complete a task you didn't feel like doing? Did you avoid a negative thought? Did you stick to one of your goals? These small wins accumulate over time and serve as reminders that progress is always possible, no matter how incremental. Remember, greatness is built on the foundation of daily discipline and consistency.
They say seeing is believing, but with Stearns & Foster, that's only part of the story. We handcraft every Stearns & Foster using the finest materials like indulgent memory foam and ultra-conforming IntelliCoils for a beautiful mattress and indescribable comfort every single night. During our Black Friday event, bring home incredible comfort with savings up to $800 on select adjustable mattress sets. Stearns & Foster, what comfort should be. Learn more at stearnsandfoster.com.
5. Develop a gratitude practice. Gratitude is a weapon against scarcity thinking. Each night, 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. They can be as simple as having clean water, someone's smile, or a small act of kindness you witnessed. The practice doesn't take long, but over time, it rewires your brain to focus on abundance. Gratitude trains your mind to see what's good in your life, no matter how difficult things get. And when you focus on what's good, you'll find more of it. This practice reinforces your inner strength, showing you that even in tough times, there's always something to appreciate, some reason to keep going. 6. Seek out discomfort. If you want true mental strength, make a habit of embracing discomfort. Find ways, big and small, to step outside your comfort zone. This might mean setting a new physical challenge, having a difficult conversation, or pursuing a skill that intimidates you. Every time you face discomfort, you prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. Growth doesn't come from staying safe. It comes from pushing boundaries and expanding your limits. When you make it a habit to seek discomfort, you become resilient, adaptable, and unstoppable. 7. Surround yourself with allies. The people you spend time with influence you more than you might realize. Be intentional about your relationships. Seek out people who challenge you, who support your growth, who hold you accountable. These allies are essential in a world that wants you to settle, conform, and stay small. Engage in discussions that push you to think, that inspire you to act, that encourage you to be better. Surrounding yourself with people who believe in you helps you stay aligned with your highest self, even when the road gets rough. 8. Commit to lifelong learning. To stand strong in a changing world, you must commit to evolving. Make a habit of learning new things, of expanding your mind, and deepening your understanding of yourself and the world. Read books, take courses, and study the great thinkers who came before you. Knowledge builds confidence and resilience. It equips you with the mental tools to face new challenges, to adapt to uncertainty, and to stay focused on your path. When you commit to lifelong learning, you reinforce your belief in yourself and strengthen your resolve to live with purpose. 9. Practice. Patience. Change is a slow and steady journey. There will be days when progress feels invisible, and it's tempting to give up. Patience is essential. Remind yourself that meaningful change takes time, that every small step forward matters, that nothing of value is built overnight. Whenever you feel discouraged, look back at where you started,
Good to see you.
reflect on how far you've come, and trust that the small steps you're taking today will add up. Patience with yourself and your journey is one of the greatest strengths you can cultivate. 10. Define your own success. The world will try to tell you what success looks like. Ignore it. Define success on your own terms, based on your values, your purpose, your unique strengths. Success isn't a destination. It's a journey, a commitment to becoming who you're meant to be. Decide what matters most to you, whether it's growth, freedom, creativity, or resilience, and let that be your measure of success. When you set your own standards, you won't be swayed by societal pressures, and your motivation will be rooted in something deeper, something unbreakable. These practices are your armor, your inner compass. They're the tools to help you stay grounded, resilient, and unyielding in a world that seeks to pull you off course. By reinforcing these habits, you don't just change your life. You become a beacon of strength, a living example that it's possible to rise above, to live meaningfully, and to define your own path. So, hold the line. Keep your vision clear. Live with intention. This is your life to shape, and with the right mindset, nothing is beyond your reach.
At Minute Clinic, our board-certified nurse practitioners give you the expert care you need.
What are you working on this holiday?
We're washing the laundry.
Make that drying it.
Get Black Friday savings now on the GE Profile Combo Washer Dryer with smart dispense technology.
And we got it delivered free.
Get Black Friday savings now at the Home Depot.
People ask me, how do I become a strong version of myself? How do I say no to the distractions, the temptations, the endless pulls on my time? It's a simple answer, but not an easy one. You must commit to yourself with a level of discipline and clarity that few are willing to embrace. The truth is, strength isn't found in occasional bursts of motivation. It's built in the relentless pursuit of purpose, carved out by decisions made day after day. Even when the world tries to lure you off your path, you want to be strong. Then let's start with a blueprint, a path forward that doesn't rely on willpower alone, but on an unbreakable foundation of intention and honor. Take a pen. Write this down. This isn't a list of vague ideas. It's a commitment, a binding promise to yourself. And when you're tempted to stray, to waste your time, you'll look at this blueprint and remember why you started. Number 1, define your yearly purpose. Ask yourself, what do I want to have achieved by the end of this year? This is not a wish. It's not something you merely hope for. It's a goal that you commit to with every fiber of your being. Get specific. Imagine the outcome. Feel the gravity of it. This goal will be your anchor, your North Star. When you drift, when you falter, this goal will remind you where you're headed. Write it down. This is your ultimate destination for the next 12 months. The thing you'll defend against every distraction that comes your way. Number 2, break it down into monthly targets. Your yearly goal may be clear, but it can also feel distant, intangible. To make it real, you need to split it into pieces, creating a series of stepping stones that will carry you forward. Every month, ask yourself, what will I accomplish by month's end to move closer to that year-end goal? Let each month be a new chapter, a focused mission. Just like a mountain climber sets markers on the way to the peak, each month's goal is a marker, a signal that you're moving in the right direction. Number 3, set a weekly focus. Here's where things get practical. It's easy to dream big, but the real work is done in the details. Each week, decide on a specific action or set of actions that will push you closer to that monthly goal. Don't leave it to chance. When you start each week with clarity, you eliminate the excuses, the fog that clouds your direction. Every week is an opportunity, a battle, to gain ground. Every week you hit your mark. You're proving to yourself that you're on the path to something greater. Number 4, win the day. This is where everything converges, where dreams meet reality. Every morning, look yourself in the mirror and ask, what is my purpose today? Choose one clear objective, one thing that, no matter what, you will accomplish before the day ends. This is your daily mission, your weapon against the onslaught of distractions that will try to steal your time and energy. If you can dominate your day, you can dominate your week, your month, your year, and eventually, your life. Real power lies in mastering the present, and each day you conquer is a brick in the foundation of an unstoppable life. Number 5, honor your family and those you serve. True strength is not only for oneself, it's for the people around you, those who depend on you, those who look to you for guidance, for support, for protection. Each week, make it a priority to do something that strengthens or honors those who matter most. Strength without loyalty, without honor, is hollow. You're not only building a life for yourself, you're creating a legacy, a reputation, a foundation that others can lean its own desires. It serves a higher purpose. It commits to lifting others, honoring them, and defending what truly matters. Seal your commitment. Now, once you've written these goals, your yearly purpose, your monthly targets, your weekly focuses, your daily mission, and your acts of honor, put them somewhere visible. Don't tuck them away where you'll forget. Place them where you'll see them every morning, so they're the first thing you focus on when you wake up. This is your creed, your unbreakable commitment. Look at it daily. Let it remind you of who you are becoming, of the promises you've made. These aren't just words on a page. They're a contract with yourself, a contract with your future. Defend your purpose against the world's distractions.
That happens a lot, but Safeway could have helped. Come in now for an in-shop chip repair for 20% off.
Safeway Repair, Safeway Replace.
When the temptations come, when someone wants to waste your time, when the easy path calls, it will be easy to say no. Because you're not here to drift. You're not here to indulge in distractions, to live a life of excuses. You're here to rise above, to become something greater than average. When you know what you're fighting for, when you understand the promises you've made, it becomes second nature to defend your time, your energy, and your focus. You don't owe anyone an explanation for staying true to your goals. You don't need to apologize for saying, "No, I'm busy." You're honoring the commitment you made to yourself, to your future, to your family, and to those who depend on you. You're building a life of strength, a life of purpose, and that life demands boundaries. It demands resilience. It demands that you stay vigilant against anything that threatens your path. Embrace the challenge. Pain is the path to power. Understand this. There will be days when it feels impossible, when the weight of your goals crushes down on you. You'll feel the urge to quit, to take it easy, to drift. But that's when you have to remember, true strength is forged in discomfort. Every day you push forward in spite of the struggle. Every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you're not just getting closer to your goal. You're reshaping who you are. Embrace the pain. Embrace the discomfort. This is where real power comes from. This is where you leave behind weakness and rise into strength. Consistency is your weapon. Motivation fades. Excitement dies. But consistency is the force that will carry you through every storm. You don't have to feel inspired to act. You don't have to feel excited to move forward. All you have to do is show up every day, whether you feel like it or not. Consistency is a commitment, a silent vow to yourself that no matter what happens, no matter how you feel, you will stay the course. People give up because they think discipline is about intensity, about pushing to the extreme every single day. But real discipline is in the steady, relentless pursuit of progress. It's in doing the work even when it's mundane, even when it's exhausting, even when no one else sees or applauds your efforts. Each day you choose consistency over complacency. You're building an armor of resilience that nothing can break. Final lesson. Your only true opponent is you.
Got a big ass
At the
turkey
end of it
leg.
all, it's not the world or anyone else that you're fighting. It's the part of you that craves comfort, that wants the easy way, that's terrified of the struggle. That part of you is your enemy. It's the voice that whispers, "Take a break. You've done enough." It's the temptation to settle for mediocrity, to abandon your mission. But here's the truth. If you conquer yourself, there is nothing you cannot achieve. No obstacle rise above distractions, to conquer every limitation within yourself. Embrace the path of discipline, the path of honor, the path of purpose, because in the end, this is the only path that leads to true power, true freedom, and true greatness. The choice is yours. Step up, stay true, become unbreakable.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money.
Price and participation may vary for a limited time only.
Listen carefully. The world has been lying to you since the moment you were born. They've sold you a false reality. One where solitude is painted as something to fear, something to avoid at all costs. They tell you that you need others, that you need validation, that you need constant connection to feel whole. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit. Solitude isn't a curse. It's the sharpest weapon you'll ever hold. And if you can wield it, it will make you unstoppable. Most people are terrified of being alone. They fear the silence, the stillness, the absence of distraction. They fear what they'll find lurking in the quiet corners of their mind. But not you. You don't run from the darkness. You embrace it. Because you know that in that darkness, you're forced to confront the one thing that most people are too afraid to face. Themselves. Alone, you can no longer hide behind excuses, behind others, behind the noise. It's just you, stripped down to your core, staring into the abyss of your own soul. And that's where the real battle begins. People surround themselves with distractions for a reason. They drown out their own thoughts, fill their time with noise and chaos, because they're too weak to face the truth of who they are. They can't handle the weight of their own existence. But here's what they don't understand. The darkness they fear is the very crucible that forges greatness. If you have the courage to sit in that silence, to face the demons that rise to the surface, you will discover a power that no one else can touch. In solitude, you learn the truth about yourself. There are no more masks, no more lies, no one else to blame. Every failure, every insecurity, every dark thought comes crashing down on you, unfiltered and raw. And here's the kicker. Those dark thoughts, those demons that you've been running from your entire life, they're not here to destroy you. They're here to test you, to challenge you, to make you stronger. The pain, the doubt, the fear, they're all part of the process. And if you face them head on, you will emerge from that darkness, something far more powerful than you ever imagined. Most people are weak because they've never been truly alone. They've never had to sit with their pain, their flaws, their failures, without the comfort of others to distract them. They've never had to face the brutal reality of their own limitations. But in solitude, there's no one to coddle you, no one to sugarcoat the truth. You're forced to deal with the harsh reality of who you are, and that's where true strength is born. Because once you confront your own darkness, once you stand face to face with your deepest fears and refuse to back down, you become something unbreakable. Let me tell you this. The world will never understand the power of solitude. They'll never understand the kind of clarity that comes from facing yourself, your thoughts, your weaknesses, without the safety net of others to fall back on. But you will. You will understand that solitude is not a punishment. It's a gift. It's where you sharpen your mind, harden your resolve, and become the weapon you need to be to conquer anything that stands in your way. When you're alone, there's no one to rely on but yourself. And that's terrifying, isn't it? It's a weight that most people can't bear. But that weight is also your greatest freedom. Because when you stand alone, when you take full full responsibility for your life, your choices, your actions, you realize something powerful. There are no limits. No one can hold you back. No one can tell you what's possible or impossible. You become the master of your fate, the architect of your own destiny. In solitude, you become your own hero. You become the person who picks yourself up when you fall, the person who pushes through the pain, the doubt, the fear. And here's the truth most people will never accept. The only person you need to succeed is the one staring back at you in the mirror. When you've learned to rely on yourself, to trust in your own strength, no one else's opinion, no one else's validation can touch you. You are free in a way that most people can't even comprehend. The battle isn't out there in the world. The real battle is in your mind. It's in the dark, lonely nights, when the doubts creep in, when the fear starts to whisper in your ear. And in those moments, you will either rise or you will fall. But here's the thing. If you've spent enough time alone, if you've faced your demons, there's nothing the world can throw at you that will break you. You've already fought the hardest battles in the silence of your own mind. Everything else is just noise. You see, solitude doesn't weaken you. It sharpens you. It strips away the distractions, the lies, the excuses, until all that's left is the raw, unfiltered truth. And in that truth, you find your strength. You find the part of you that is unbreakable, the part of you that can endure any hardship, any challenge, because you've already faced worse in the silence of your own mind. People will tell you that you need others to succeed, that you need a team, a tribe, a support system to lift you up. But here's the truth. Most people lean on others because they're too weak to stand on their own. They rely on the opinions, the validation, the comfort of others, because they're too scared to face their own weaknesses. But not you. You don't need the noise. You don't need the validation. You thrive in the darkness, in the silence, because that's where the real work happens. In solitude, you are free. Free from the expectations of others. Free from the noise. Free from the limits that society tries to place on you. And that freedom, it's terrifying. But it's also the key to unlocking a power that no one else can touch. When you're alone, you realize that the only thing standing between you and greatness is you. And once you understand that, once you take full ownership of your life, there's nothing that can stop you. So embrace the darkness. Seek out the solitude. Because in the end, it's just you versus you. And when you win that battle, when you conquer the doubts, the fears, the limitations you've placed on yourself, you will emerge from that darkness unstoppable. The world won't know what hit it. Because while they were busy chasing comfort, you were forging yourself into something unbreakable. While they were seeking validation, you were mastering the art of being alone. And now you're ready to show the world just what happens when someone embraces their solitude, embraces their darkness, and turns it into a source of unrelenting strength. This is your time. This is your moment. And no one, not a single soul, can take that from you. Because in the end, you faced the worst of it. You faced yourself. And now, you're unstoppable.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gotta run with a big bite. It's a big life. Zoom, zoom, live fast, big mood. Big plans and a bigger attitude. Life short, so you gotta live it up within the limit. Cause it's just a visit if you blink, you miss it. Listen, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gotta run with a big bite. It's a big life.
about to share changed the course of my life. You've been lied to. Since the day you were born, they told you the rules were there to protect you, to guide you, to make sure society runs smoothly. But here's the truth. The rules were never designed to help you. They were built to control you, to keep you small, quiet, obedient. Every law, every expectation, every unwritten norm is a chain. And until you realize that, you'll remain shackled, limited by the very system that pretends to have your best interest at heart. I believed those lies once. I played by their rules, thinking it would keep me safe, thinking it would lead me to success. But guess what? Playing by their rules didn't get me anywhere. I was stuck in a system that rewards mediocrity and punishes anyone daring enough to break free. It wasn't until I started pushing back, questioning everything, that I saw the truth. The rules, they weren't made to protect you or me. They were made to protect them, the people who benefit from your obedience, from your silence. Breaking the rules wasn't easy. When you step out of line, they don't just watch. They come for you. They call you reckless, dangerous, a threat. They'll tell you you're making a mistake, that you're going too far. But all those words, those accusations, they're just more chains. They want to scare you into compliance. They want you to believe that breaking free will destroy you. But I'm here to tell you something. They fear you. They fear anyone who steps outside their carefully constructed boundaries. Not because you're a threat to their safety, but because you're a threat to their control. When you start breaking the rules, you show others that the system isn't as strong as they've been led to believe. You show them that the walls keeping them confined are paper thin. And once you see that, once you understand how easily the rules can be torn apart, you can never go back to living inside the cage. I'll tell you how it happened for me. One day, I just couldn't take it anymore. The frustration of playing by the rules while watching others stay ahead by bending them, it was suffocating. I realized that I was living someone else's life, following someone else's script. So, I made a decision. I was going to break every rule that was holding me back. And let me be clear, it wasn't just about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It was about freedom. True freedom. The kind that requires you to sacrifice everything you think you need for the chance to become something more. When I broke the rules, they said I was reckless. They said I was throwing away my future. But let me tell you something. The moment I stepped out of the cage, I felt something I had never felt before. I felt alive. I felt powerful. And most importantly, I felt free. I stopped asking for permission. I stopped waiting for approval. I started building my life on my terms. And that's when everything changed. But here's the thing. Freedom comes at a cost. It's not comfortable. It's not easy. It's chaotic. You have to give up the security that comes with playing by the rules. You have to let go of the comfort that comes from staying in line. And most people aren't willing to do that. Most people are too scared to step out of their prison, too afraid of the uncertainty that comes with breaking free. But me, I embraced the chaos. I welcomed it, because I knew that the only way to truly live, to truly succeed, was to burn down the illusions that had been keeping me chained. The funny thing is, when you start breaking the rules, when you start tearing down the walls, they don't know what to do with you. They call you names. They try to label you, to box you in. But those labels, they're meaningless. They're just another attempt to control you, to put you back in your place. Once you've tasted freedom, once you've felt what it's like to be unchained, nothing else will ever satisfy you. I didn't want the comfort of playing it safe anymore. I wanted something real, That's what breaking the rules gave me. Real power, real control, real freedom. The kind of freedom that comes when you stop caring what they think, when you stop living by their expectations, and start living by your own. Let me tell you, breaking free is the most terrifying and exhilarating thing you will ever do. They will try to stop you. They will throw everything at you to pull you back into the cage. But here's the thing. Once you've broken the rules, once you've seen the truth, there's no going back. You can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending that the system works, that the rules are fair. You've seen through the illusion, and that knowledge makes you unstoppable. When I broke free, I didn't just destroy the rules. I created new ones. I built a life that wasn't confined by their expectations. I stopped living for them and started living for me. And yes, it was messy. Yes, I had to sacrifice a lot. But what I gained was worth more than anything I lost.
You can just relax. Oop. Minute Clinic at CVS. Care close by whenever you need it.
I gained control over my life, over my future, and most importantly, over myself. They'll tell you that you need the rules, that without them, everything will fall apart. But here's the secret. They're wrong. The rules are a crutch. They're a way to avoid responsibility, a way to avoid facing the truth, that we are all free to make our own choices. But most people can't handle that. Most people need someone to blame, someone to tell them what to do, what to think, how to live. But you're different. You've seen that there's more out there than the tiny little boxes they try to trap you in. You've seen that the rules were never about protecting you. They were about keeping you in line, keeping you docile, making sure you never stepped out of place. But once you step out, once you break free, everything changes. For me, the moment I realized the rules were just illusions was the moment I took control. And that's when the real success came. Not when I followed the path laid out for me, but when I ripped that path apart and built my own. It wasn't easy. I had to let go of everything I thought I knew. I had to sacrifice the comfort and security that the rules promised me. But what I got in return, that's something they can never take from me. Here's what they don't want you to know. Breaking the rules isn't just about destruction. It's about creation. It's about tearing down the old so that something new can rise from the ashes. That's what I did. I didn't just tear down the system. I built something better. I built a life that wasn't confined by their rules, by their expectations, by their lies. And here's the best part. Once you've broken the rules, once you've destroyed their system, you get to rewrite the rules. You get to decide what comes next. You get to build something new, something better, something they could never have imagined. That's what real freedom looks like. That's what real success feels like. And let me tell you, it's worth every sacrifice. So ask yourself, are you ready to break free? Are you ready to let go of everything that's been holding you back and embrace the chaos? Because once you do, there's no going back. Once you taste real freedom, real power, you'll never settle for anything less. And that's when you become unstoppable. All or nothing. A message from Grimface. There comes a moment in every person's life when they stand at a crossroads. No signs, no guides, no one to show you the way. Just two paths laid before you. One leads to living on your knees, in quiet submission, bowing to the pressures of the world. The other, it's the harder road. The road of standing tall, of defiance, of fighting for what you deserve, even when the weight of the world bears down on your shoulders. It's a choice we all face. Will you live on your knees, or will you rise and die standing? Living on your knees isn't living at all. It's a slow death, a burial of everything you could have been. One compromise at a time, one moment of doubt, one quiet concession, until the fire in you fades, and all that's left is a shell of what you could have been. Living on your knees is like pouring dirt on your own grave, one handful at a time. And by the time you realize what's happened, it's too late. You've already buried yourself alive. You don't feel it happening at first. It's gradual, subtle. The world doesn't demand you kneel all at once. It whispers in your ear, makes small demands, tiny sacrifices. Give in here. Let go there. Stay quiet this time. And before you know it, those tiny concessions add up, and you're trapped. Trapped in a life you didn't choose, bowing to forces you were too afraid to challenge. The chains that bind you, they're forged from small moments of surrender.
Pussy, go the fuck on
The sad
somewhere.
part is, most people don't even realize it until it's too late. Until their fire has been smothered, and they're left living in the dim shadows of what they could have.
Black Friday savings are here.
So what are you working on? We're keeping an eye out for Santa.
And an eye out for savings.
You can get a tool like this free.
When you buy a battery kit from one of our top brands.
Can I get free delivery?
Sure can.
Get Black Friday savings now at the Home Depot.
Been.
Move.
I've seen it. I've felt it. And I refuse to live that way. I chose the harder path. I chose to stand tall, even when everything around me tried to knock me down. I chose to face the darkness, to let the weight of the world press against me, and to plant my feet firm in the ground. To stand is to look fear in the eye and smile. It's to feel the cold breath of failure on your neck and refuse to bow to it. Standing tall doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means you face it with your eyes wide open, teeth bared, daring it to break you. You will feel the chill of the darkness. You will feel the storm battering you from every side. But in those moments, when you refuse to kneel, something happens. You become stronger. You become unbreakable. Because every challenge you face, every blow you take, molds you. It forges you into something more than you were before. That's the difference between those who kneel and those who stand. Those who stand let the darkness shape them. They let the pain burn away their weakness and leave only iron and flame behind. The world will always try to make you kneel. It will always whisper that it's easier to just give up, to surrender. But there's a fire in you that no amount of darkness can touch. A light that grows brighter with each blow, each moment of struggle. The world will try to bury that light, but the more pressure it puts on you, the hotter that fire burns. That's the beauty of standing tall. Every time life tries to extinguish you, you burn brighter. Success isn't found by those who live quietly, who bow their heads and accept their place. No. Success is reserved for the ones who refuse to kneel, for the ones who stand tall, even when the world is crumbling around them. Those are the people who rise to the top. Those are the people who claim what is rightfully theirs. To stand is to declare that no force on this earth will break you. To stand is to embrace the pain, to welcome the struggle, knowing that each battle only makes you stronger. You cannot reach the highest heights of success by staying safe, by avoiding conflict, by living in the shadows. The only way to reach the top is to fight for it, to stand when others fall, to rise when others kneel. When I look back on my own journey, I see every moment where I could have bowed, every moment where I could have given in, lived quietly, accepted less than I deserved. But I didn't. I stood tall, even when the weight seemed unbearable. I let the storm beat against me, but I didn't fall. I let the darkness try to swallow me, I refused to let my fire be extinguished. And that's how I rose. That's how I found success. Every scar, every wound, every battle I fought along the way, those are not signs of defeat. They are the marks of resilience, of strength. They are the proof that I stood when others fell, that I refused to live on my knees. And those scars, they are my badges of honor. Every one of them is a reminder of the moments I chose to stand tall, even when the world tried to break me. Success is not for the faint of heart. It's not for those who seek comfort or safety. It's for those who are willing to walk the knife's edge, who are willing to stand tall in the face of fear, pain, and adversity. It's for those who understand that every scar is a story, every wound is a lesson, and every struggle is an opportunity to grow stronger. There is a terrible beauty in defiance. It's the kind of beauty that comes from facing the storm head-on, from standing tall when the winds try to tear you apart. It's not the smooth, polished beauty of those who live quietly, untouched by the world. It's the rough, unyielding beauty of those who refuse to be broken. It's the beauty of a soul that has been forged in fire, that has been shaped by struggle, and that refuses to bow, no matter how hard the world tries to bring it to its knees. And when your time comes, when the end rises to meet you, how will it find you? Will it find you kneeling, having lived a life of quiet submission, having given in to the pressure of the world? Or will it find you standing tall, with fire in your eyes and defiance in your heart? Will it find you unbowed, unbroken, and unyielding? Because to stand tall, to die standing, is to leave behind more than a body. It's to leave behind a legacy. It's to be remembered not for your fears, but for your strength. Not for the times you fell, but for the times you rose. It's to carve your name into the winds of time, to be a light for those who come after you. It's to say, I was here, and I did not bow. I did not surrender. In that final act of defiance, you become something eternal, something that cannot be measured by time, or death, or failure. You become a legend, a force that lives on, not just in memory, but in the hearts of those who witnessed your fire. So stand tall. Stand, even when the darkness gathers and the winds howl like wolves at your door. Stand, even when your knees tremble and your voice shakes. Stand, because the act of standing is the act of living fully. Stand, because it is the choice to be free. And know this, every time you stand, every time you rise against the forces that try to break you, you are climbing higher, higher toward the pinnacle of success, higher toward the heights that only the unbroken can reach. And when you reach those heights, when you stand at the top, looking down at the path you've walked, you'll know that you earned every step. You didn't live on your knees. You stood tall. You faced the darkness. You embraced the struggle. And you came out on the other side victorious. This is your moment, your choice. Will you live quietly, or will you rise to the tallest heights of success, standing tall, unbroken, and victorious? The path is yours to choose. But know this, true success belongs only to those who stand. The path you choose today will determine everything. It will define whether you stay bound by fear and compromise, or whether you rise above it all, standing on the tallest peaks, unshaken by the winds of doubt and uncertainty. This is not just a metaphor. This is life. This is the choice we all face. To kneel is the easier road. It requires nothing from you but surrender. It asks you to sacrifice your dreams, your potential, and your fire in exchange for a false sense of security. It offers you comfort in mediocrity, a quiet life where the biggest battles are never fought, because they are avoided. It's a path defiance that you discover who you truly are. When I look back on the journey that brought me success, I see every single moment where the easy path was there, calling my name. I could have kneeled. I could have accepted less. But every time, I chose to stand tall. I chose to take the harder road. And that's why I'm here now. That's why I've risen to heights I never imagined possible. You see, success isn't just about talent. It's not about luck. It's about will. The will to stand when everyone else kneels. The will to keep going when others give up. The will to believe in yourself when no one else does. That's what sets the great apart from the average. That's what defines those who reach the summit. But here's the hard truth. When you choose to stand, it will be painful. The world doesn't make it easy to succeed. Every time you rise, you'll face resistance. You'll face doubt. People will try to pull you down, to make you feel like you don't deserve to rise. They'll tell you it's safer to stay low, to accept your place, to be grateful for what you have. But those voices, they are nothing but the whispers of those who gave up. They are the echoes of those who chose to kneel, who surrendered their dreams because standing was too hard. I learned to tune out those voices. I learned to let them fuel my fire, to let them push me harder. Every time someone told me I couldn't do it, that I wasn't strong enough, that I should just settle, I stood taller. I used their doubt as fuel. I embraced the struggle because I knew that every obstacle was just another step toward the top. That's the secret no one tells you about success. It's not just about winning. It's about enduring. It's about standing tall, time and time again, no matter how many times you get knocked down. It's about turning every failure into fuel, every setback into strength. It's about knowing, deep in your bones, that you were meant for more. And it's about refusing to let anything or anyone keep you from that.
Put the ones he loves first. But when it comes to caring for his teeth, he's let his own maintenance take a back seat. Well, maybe it's time to shift.
They want you to be poor. A message from Grimface. You spent over 2,500 days in school, day after day, walking the hallways of a system that promised you a future. But let me ask you this. After all those days, how much time did they spend teaching you how to truly succeed? They trained you to follow, to obey. But did they ever teach you the rules of the real game? The one we're all playing, whether we realize it or not. You live in a world built on capital. But how many days did you learn about capital itself? How many lessons were dedicated to understanding how wealth is created, controlled, and multiplied? The answer is obvious, isn't it? They kept you blind, trained you to be a cog in the machine, while the ones who hold the real power made sure you'd never learn how to break free. I'm here to pull back the curtain. I'm part of Grimface, a group of high achievers who figured out the truth and used it to rise above the masses. Today, I'm sharing with you the 7 principles that changed everything for me. These aren't just lessons. They're the keys to breaking out of mediocrity and into the realm of true power. These principles aren't taught in schools. They aren't handed out to the masses. But if you master them, you'll not only grow rich in money, but rich in control, in freedom, in life itself. The first principle, good debt. People fear debt, but that's because they don't understand it. Debt, when used properly, is a tool that can elevate you to new heights. Never take on debt with an interest rate higher than inflation. That's the rule. The smart move is using debt as a weapon. Good debt works for you. grows while you sleep. It doesn't drag you down, it pulls you forward. But remember, this is a long game. Debt isn't paid off overnight. The true cost of debt reveals itself in the future. If you can see ahead, if you can understand where the money is going, then you can control it. This is the first step toward mastering the system. Next, central banks. The ones who control the money control the game. Central banks set the rules. Interest rates, inflation, the flow of capital. But here's what most don't understand. Don't focus on the rates today. Focus on where they're going tomorrow. The trend matters, not the number. When rates drop, that's when you move. You can borrow cheaply and use that money to grow while others hesitate. The future is written in the past. History doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. If you can read the patterns, you'll know when to strike. Central banks may hold the power, but if you know the rules, you can play their game better than anyone else. Now let's talk about gold. Gold is solid, unshakable, eternal. When the world collapses, when economies crumble, gold remains. People chase stocks, currencies, trends, but gold has stood the test of time for centuries. When I invest in what I can touch, what I can hold. In times of chaos, gold holds its value. Governments fail, banks collapse, but gold is indestructible. You need something real, something tangible, to anchor your wealth. Gold isn't just a financial asset, it's the foundation of power. Then there's real estate. Everyone thinks real estate is about waiting for property values to rise. That's where they get it wrong. The true power of real estate lies in cash flow, not appreciation. If your rental income covers your expenses and leaves you with more, you've already won. Cash flow is king. Appreciation is a bonus, but it's not what you should rely on. And don't forget, your investment is someone else's home. You're giving them shelter. Play the game with decency, but never forget that you're in control. Master real estate, and you'll never need to rely on anyone but yourself. Compound interest. This is where the magic happens. Compound interest is the most powerful force in the financial world. The earlier you start, the more unstoppable it becomes. You don't need to make massive investments. You need to start. The money you put in today will grow, slowly at first, but over time it becomes exponential. It's like a snowball rolling down a mountain. The rich don't get rich by making quick, impulsive moves. They plant seeds and wait for the forest to grow. Time is your greatest ally, and the longer you give compound interest to work, the more unstoppable you become. The tax game. Everyone dreads taxes, but that's because they don't know how to play the game. Taxes are inevitable, but paying more than you have to, that's optional. The system is designed to take from those who don't understand it. But if you learn the rules, you can use the system to your advantage. Real estate deductions, retirement accounts. These are tools you can use to minimize taxes legally. The best players don't avoid taxes, they minimize them. And they do it with a team. You cannot win this game alone. A great tax consultant is worth more than gold. They know the hidden rules, the loopholes, the strategies that keep your money in your pocket. Surround yourself with the right people, and you'll always stay ahead. Finally, offshore living. 183 days. That's the magic number. If you spend 183 days in a tax-friendly country, like Dubai or Panama, you can legally reduce or even eliminate your tax burden for the entire year. Think about that for a moment. An entire year of keeping everything you earn. But here's the catch. It requires sacrifice. You need to be willing to move, to adapt, to live like a nomad if necessary. But the reward is complete financial freedom. The system no longer controls you.